DeMar DeRozan says it's not about the money. What options do the Lakers have to sign him?
If it's really not about the money and he wants to put his money where his mouth is and he wants to sign for the Lakers mid-level exception, because that's the most they can offer any free agent that's not already theirs, that's less than $10 million.
Okay.
If he wants to sign for that, I'm sure the Lakers would pop out the checkbook in an instant. Other than that, you're looking at sign and trade options. I don't know that there's any reason that San Antonio, with all the cap room they have, would be looking at doing a sign and trade. After that, they don't have options. That's it.
Yeah, it's hard to, he did say that it's not about the money, but it's hard to think that he would want to maybe go that low, Rez. Do you realistically see this coming to fruition?
Yes and no. That's a huge pay cut from what he made last season, almost a $20 million dip if he wants to sign for about $9.5 million. But if you listen to what he said in this podcast, he said he wants to win. Remember, he was the guy who was traded for Kawhi Leonard, missed out on that championship in Toronto a few years ago. So maybe he's still feeling a little uptight about that. He wants to win a championship, and hey, he looked pretty good right next to AD and LeBron. A very good mid-range game. Love what he can do with his mid-range. Not a big three-point shooter. That's the only knock against him, but a pretty solid defender, too.
Watching the entire league and knowing how this goes, in 99% of the cases, I would say almost no shot whatsoever. The only thing is, this is the Lakers, and every once in a while, they pull one out of their hat.
Yeah.
So, is this that time?
Yeah. Is this another Carmelo, Gary Payton,
right.
we'll come for nothing situation? Who knows? It's possible. I still wouldn't call it likely, but once in a while, the Lakers pull that off.
With the Sixers, will he drop down to this 5.9 or 5.8, or even lower to like a veteran's minimum, which would be about $2.5 million? A little bit of a minus. He's 34 years old. He's not young, but he could be a pretty good perimeter defender. Keep in mind, KCP gone. Schroeder not coming back, almost surely now. So you got to think of some perimeter guys who can hit some threes as well.
I mean, we love him, James. He's a Tar Heel. He was great when he was here. Lakers won a championship. 34 years old.
34.
Does that concern you a little bit as he gets up there in age? Maybe battles with some injuries. Had a good year for the Sixers. We know he can hit clutch threes.
Yeah, the offense almost has to flow, exactly perfectly for him. But when you have AD out, LeBron out, he's going to have a hard time finding shots. But in the perfect situation, he still can knock them down. At 34 years old, I can't see that he's going to be looking for, more money. So he's got to be looking for places where he wants to play.
And where he fits.
He's already won.
Yep.
He's already won, what, 3 championships? So it's not like he's sinking. So he may be at 34 looking at some other 34-year-olds and saying, hey, I still can get 9, 10, something like that. So he's still going to be looking he's a smart Carolina kid, so he's going to be looking to get a little bit of change.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Give us player number 2.
Yeah, Patty Mills, savvy vet, turned 32 this past season and set a career mark for most threes per game. Hit almost 2.5 a game in a pretty relaxed system down in San Antonio. They're not a big tempo pusher. Another guy who made pretty good money last season, $13 million. Will he go down?
38% fits right where we want it.
Yeah, exactly. He's a nice shooter.
How much did he make last year?
13. So will he drop down to 6?
Patty made what?
Yeah, another guy who needs it. He'd have to take a little bit of a pay cut. Again, the Lakers don't have any money to spend. They're obviously not a cheap franchise. They just acquired a player who's going to be making $91 million over the next 2 seasons. But the salary cap rules say the most Lakers can spend on a free agent that's not their own, 5.9 or so.
Roll the next guy out.
Well, yeah, one last guy here. We got to go with another former Laker, Wayne Ellington. Remember him from a few years ago? Super nice guy.
Can still shoot it.
Yeah, can still shoot. Now, he's with Detroit last season, right around 40%. Not a very good franchise. They struggled last year. 42%. Yeah, specifically 42%. This would be a parallel move for him money-wise. Unlike Danny Green, unlike Patty Mills, he made the vets minimum last season of about 2.5. So all he has to do is say, I'm going to take that, move out west, go back to the Lakers. They'll give me vets min, and I'll just sit out there and shoot threes all day. Another guy up there in age, almost mid-30s. So 3 guys there in their 30s. Again, they're not going to be making a ton of money. The Lakers are out of free agent money, but there's 3 shooters for you right there.
Another great job, Brez. Great list. Another smart Carolina kid. He might know that 42% from 3 might get you a little more money, but maybe a chance to play with some of the greats in the game and a chance to win a ring. Big game. What do you think?
Who are you talking about?
Wayne Ellington.
I think that's the only true realistic pick of the three.
Yeah.
I can't see the other two coming down to what, 5?
Yeah,
I
five and a
can't
half,
see it.
6 at most.
But you know, Wayne's a guy that, you know, he can still stick it. And if you know you got Westbrook, LeBron, and AD, that looks like he might get some legitimate shots. So I think that's it. I don't see anybody else, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to give you a list right now.
Give it
Look
up.
at some of the free agent shooters that the Lakers could target. Reggie Bullock. We always say former Laker on here. Patty Mills. Dougie McBuckets.
I like him.
Otto Porter. Ben McLemore just got done playing for.
He could come back for the vets.
So there are some
Otto Porter
people on that
I
list.
like what Otto does.
Now let's check in with Allie.
You already know.
The Pulse.
Social media. It's been buzzing, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's check in and see what's going on with the latest. We begin with Shams. The Washington Wizards have agreed to trade Russell Westbrook, 2024 second-round pick, 2028 second-round pick to the Los Angeles Lakers for Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, and number 22 tonight. Sources told The Athletic, and we saw that through. Tanya Ganguly, friend of our show, today's the day. All that time and effort I spent trying to beat Kyle Goon and Ben Golliver to this photo finally paid off. Salute, salute. Bobby Marks with this, a Westbrook James Davis trio combined to earn $121 million in 2021-22.
How much?
There are 19 teams that will earn less heading into free agency. No big deal. Bobby Marks also with this. The Lakers are right at $130 million in salary heading into the offseason.
What I need to know.
Right, can still bring back their own free agents, including Alex Caruso.
That's a discussion.
THT. LA will also have the $5.9 million tax mid-level and vetman exception. And then our last one.
Still have that.
Flea, the one and only. Westbrook, I welcome you with joy and a wild look in my.
Is headed to the Lakers. Media reporting that the Lakers agreed to trade for Russell Westbrook. The Wizards will receive Kuzma, KCP, Montrez, the number 22 pick, Isaiah Jackson in this year's draft. In addition, the Wizards will also send Lakers 2 future second-round picks. So this is on Instagram and Twitter. Russell Westbrook, thank you, DC. You welcome my family and I with open arms from day one. Everyone from the front office to the training staff, the coaches, my teammates, and the fans. I'm grateful you all took a chance on me and supported me every step of the way. Never easy when you rake in a superstar like the Lakers have pulled off. It takes a haul, right? And one of the guys, the last baby Laker, Kyle Kuzma, the last young gun, is now gone. He won a ring, accepted his role. He became a better defender. And I personally think, James, this could be great for Kuz to go there and blossom even more.
Well, I mean, look, he's had a pretty good career here. You know, the Lakers gave him a lot of confidence. You know, they traded Ingram away, Randall, Ball, Hart, and they kept him. And I think I think he played extremely well. He got better on the defensive end. He got better at the 4 spot, a shot blocker, a rebounder, a double-double guy. I don't know how long it was going to work out with him playing with LeBron and AD. You really got to be a tough dude to go in there and get yours. You got to have a different mentality, like a Murray or Trey Young. You really got to, if you're playing with superstars, and still be able to go get yours. You know, I struggled with that a little bit before I found my edge with Kareem and Magic, and I didn't feel like every night after night, when we needed him to step up, and that he was consistent enough. So. I think the Lakers gave him plenty of time to blossom. I think this is a good move for him, considering what we're getting back, and give him the chance to do what he wants to do. Maybe get more shots, get a little bit more opportunity. So I think it's a good for Kuz as well.
Look, for Kuz, it's a chapter closed. It's a part of his journey, the start of his journey that has come to an end, but it's far from over. You know, that's a guy that you guys have all watched up close from day one here for the last couple of years for myself, who I've always appreciated and respected as a professional. I think he's handled his role, as you touched on, Big Game, with the utmost respect and responsibility. I think the one thing that we heard night in and night out, whether it was vocally or physically, was he's an opportunity guy. He wants the opportunities. He seeks the opportunity. And it wasn't the opportunity I think that he envisioned once Anthony Davis came here. That's part of the job, part of the gig. And so you wish him the best. And you know that he will maximize his opportunity at the next stop.
We'll always be on the Kuz bus, won't we?
Yeah, very sad. I'm at the Kuz bus. It's gone. I mean, I guess on the other hand, I bought a car from Russell Westbrook's auto dealer last year. So, at least there's one trade. There it is, the Kuz bus, one last time.
Allie's still
tearing up a little bit here. Sad. See my guy go. Always enjoyed talking with him. Fun to see him grow as a person. For him, his game kind of stalled a little bit this past season. The scoring was down. The playoffs were not what he wanted. He worked on his all-around game, became a better defender, a better rebounder, maybe even a better passer, but he became expendable because of his salary, $13 million. If you're going to get a guy who's going to be making $44 million next season, as in Russ, you need to get really high up there, really close to that number if you want to make the trade. So what do you do? Kuzma, $13 million. KCP, $13 million. Montrezl Harrell, he opts in. That's $10 million right there. You're pretty much there after you make this draft pick. That's $2.5 million right there. You tack it all together. So it's kind of more a financial thing than anything else. That's why Kuzma is not with the Lakers.
And, of course, we wish KCP, who was a huge part of the championship run, and Montrezl Harrell, who gave it every single night, the best of luck. Here's a look at the league's all-time triple-double list, and it's Westbrook running away, 184. The Big O, 181. Magic, 138. J. Kidd, 107. And then LeBron James, one away from 100. THT and Caruso. Brez, I want to go back to you. We saw what Bobby Marks said when Allie read off that tweet. Pieces the Lakers would love to hang on to, can they?
I'm thinking one of those two guys stays. THT is restricted, so he makes a little bit more sense. He can sign an offer sheet with one other team, and the Lakers will have some time to match it. They'll have till about August 6th or 7th. So that makes more sense. He's a little bit more restricted than obviously Caruso. But the Lakers are going to be paying some tax. They have three guys making almost $121 million. Do they want to pay $10 million for Caruso for next season and maybe another $10 million for a guy like THT and still have to acquire 9 more guys to fill out this roster? So as you see right there, that's how it stands right now. That's a lot of cash already. You're talking $124 million on the books for next year. Maybe Gasol retires. Who knows what he's going to do, or if he wants to be traded. We'll see what happens with him. But the Lakers need a lot. They need some big men. They need some shooters that we've already gone over ad nauseum on this show. Caruso, great defender. They lost a couple good guys defensively with this trade today. You definitely want him back. And THT, with his offensive upside, you hopefully want him back too.
Big Game James, I hate to make you choose between kids, but these are the type of players that we love. They're great role players. They're a part of it. Caruso, a huge part of the championship. THT emerges last year. These are the type of guys you want as role players around your big three. If you had to choose one, is there a way you lean? Or I know that's hard.
I mean, you look at what Caruso and LeBron were able to do in the fourth quarter together.
Yeah.
I think they had the best plus minus. Caruso gives you so many intangibles, but T&T gives you a lot more. He gives you on both ends. Not that Caruso doesn't. He was getting better at knocking down the three. But when you talk about consistency and putting, a lot of pressure on your offense, this kid right here gets to the rim. He's a shot maker at the rim. LeBron said, I am, really amazed at how well this young kid reads the defense and is able to make good decisions when he's handling the ball. He will step back and shoot the three. He's not afraid. I love Caruso, but if I got to choose one, I'm going to go with TNT. His wingspan, his defense, what he's able to do. I just love his game. He's a big upside.
It really wasn't fair to make him choose, but it's hard. But you have to have that.
You have to
have that conversation, right? But we love them both.
You love them both.
All right, we're back with more Access after the break. But first, a draft day throwback. And welcome back to Access Sportsnet Lakers. And there is LeBron going to IG, and this is what he's putting up: Brow, Brody, Kane. That's AD. That's Westbrook, and that's LeBron James.
Is that real?
You like that?
Pretty cool. Brez, let's go into the center position because Marc Gasol's under contract. We don't know what's going to happen there, and if they need another one. Remember, they always like to have a couple different ones to run alongside AD, and then of course AD is going to play plenty of the 5. Give me your list. We'll go one at a time.
Yeah, a couple different options here. Start with Nerlens Noel. Okay, he's my number 1 option for the Lakers. I said earlier, a couple guys who would have to take massive pay cuts to join the Lakers. Again, the most they can offer a guy is about $6 million next season. A lot more of the contracts will be about $2.5 million next season, the veterans minimum. Our guy here, he made only $5 million last year with the Knicks. And by the way, he was second in the NBA in blocked shots. So Noel, he's not going to wow you with his 3-point shooting. He's made 2 in his entire career. That's not why they're going to get him. They're not addressing the shooting when you get a guy like Nerlens. You're addressing a guy who can score down low in the paint. He'll be there for the alley-oops, and he will defend, and he will get rebounds. A part-time starter for the Knicks last season, still second overall in block shots. You got to like that.
Do you like Brez's number 1 on the list?
I do like him. I like the battle-tested, playing for Tibbs, playing in that system, that dog kind of mentality, can run the floor, length, good size. I do.
Give us another name, Brez.
Minus the 2 threes he's attempted in his career.
Yeah, that he made in his career. He's got to work on that.
But can shoot. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, we have someone who can shoot.
Okay.
All right, Kelly Olynyk. I think he had a breakout season, maybe the first ever breakout for an NBA player at age 30. His post-All-Star break numbers with Houston, I know Houston, not a good team, but they were outstanding. 17 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, 36% from three-point range after the All-Star break. Lakers were a bottom 10 in three-point shooting last season, and what did they do today? They got rid of KCP and Kuzma, the guys who were 1 and 2 for them in three-pointers made. So they're pretty much starting from scratch. They were not a good three-point shooting team. They need guys to shoot, and here's a big man who can do that.
Here's my question for you. Alongside with what they have now, do you want a traditional center type of player? Would you like a stretch the floor type of center who can hit a 3?
Personally, I like a stretch.
Yeah.
I like a stretch because that's going to free everything else up. If you can bring Gobert out or some of those shot blockers out a little bit. And Olynyk he's always proven to be an intelligent player. Doesn't play outside of his box, makes good decisions, can shoot, knows how to move without the basketball. So yeah, the stretch has always been, we need 3-point shooters. Marc Gasol proved that when he could knock down threes, that worked for us and gave AD and even Montrez and other guys room to work inside. So yeah, give me the stretch.
I got 2 names for you guys, since we like to bring our family back home.
Sure.
DeVale or Dwight? I'm just saying, does that pique your interest at all? Do you think that's possible?
I like it. Yeah, if Nerlens is going to make more than the $5 million he just made, he's probably not going to get that from the Lakers. Why not bring one or both of those guys back home? They had, decent seasons with their respective teams last year. I like this list. Rashawn Holmes, he's going to make too much money.
He's going to make money. He's out.
Yeah, Cantor probably out. I do like Daniel Tice.
Yep.
He's kind of a blend of a shooter and a physical guy.
I'm with you.
I like what he did for Boston. Then he got traded to Chicago, kind of got lost in that shuffle there. But I like what he brings. Will he take, again, not a ton of money?
JaVale or Dwight interest you there, Big Game James? We had a lot of fun.
Dwight Howard is a specialist at what he does. I mean, what he did against Denver Nuggets and Jokic, when we needed someone to slow Jokic down, was like superb. Is he still doing that? Can he still do that?
I mean, if you looked at his Instagram, he's now knocking down threes.
He helped Philly.
Oh, we don't want that. The free throws. Let's start with the free throws.
He's like, I'm done with the inside.
We don't need threes. But I do like Dwight Howard. I like the reformed Dwight Howard. So if he can still do what he does, come in and muck up things and play physical and get alley-oops over the top, he's really good at that. If he's available, that'd be pretty smart move.
When it comes down to it, you're complimenting LeBron James, Anthony Davis, now Russell Westbrook. Those 2 guys have done it in the past, and they've done it on a winning level.
Block shots, set screens.
His attitude has to be right, though.
Star in your role.
All right. Lakers have started to reload with LeBron, AD, and Westbrook, but does the new big 3?
Right. It's only the beginning. I watched my name get called by myself in a ESPN Zone lobby. Keep your spirits high and your willingness to grind even higher. #underdog, #NBA draft 2021. This was awesome, guys. Cam Thomas is honoring Kobe Bryant with his NBA draft suit. #big night, big fits.
Love that.
Check that out. That is awesome. Irvin Magic Johnson, Laker Nation, the blockbuster trade that's bringing Russell Westbrook to the Lakers is very, in all caps, exciting and will definitely make the Lakers a championship contender next season. He continues, with Westbrook joining LeBron and AD, the Lakers now have their version of the big three. All we need now, guys, is what? Couple of shooters. And it'll be tough to beat.
It's a big man, too. Yeah.
Magic saying Russell Westbrook is the most electric player in the NBA today. And the Staples Center will be on fire next season.
He added a lot of fire emojis, too. I remember seeing that.
This also, guys, about this upcoming season. The NBA says it will release its top 75 players in league history in October as it celebrates the league's 75th anniversary next season and will honor those players at the 2022 All-Star Game in Cleveland.
I like it.
That is awesome. Very special.
The game.
He's going to be on that list.
That's kind of cool.
Might be a new 75.
No, you are on that list.
I don't know. They got.
Where's that top 50
They
jacket?
did 50 and 96. Somewhere hanging out.
Was that 1996?
96. Yeah. Was it in Cleveland? In 96?
Man, that's
Somebody
crazy.
check that. I think it might have been in Cleveland.
That's pretty
I'm
cool.
not sure. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Lakers agreed to trade for Westbrook, so what does that mean for Dennis Schroeder? Are they letting him walk, Brest?
Yeah, I don't see how he comes back. I think the reality is they were looking at signing a guy for 3 years or 4 years. He obviously wanted more than $20 million a year. That's a lot. That's definitely a lot of money. So in the end, he's going to have to find somewhere else. A few teams, 8 in particular, have enough cap space to sign him for $20 million or more. Where's he going to end up? I don't know. I would be stunned if he comes back to the Lakers because they're just going to have to spend money on Caruso and THT. That's going to be their priority, not a starting point guard.
And Dennis, wants to be a free agent. He wants to go where he's needed, and he wants to get paid too,
And,
right, James?
in his mind, he felt like he had a good enough year to demand. I don't know if he'll get what he's asking for, but he'll be able to get a pretty good contract. He's had a good year, with the exception of the COVID and missing some games, and then really just not coming back like himself at the end.
Struggled in the playoffs.
He struggled, but he can help a team, no question.
So you add Russ to the Lakers. The Western Conference just continues to be a monster. You look at what Phoenix did. You look at the Utah Jazz and the seasons they're coming off. You look at the Clippers, and I know Kawhi is hurt, but look at the run that they had after Kawhi got hurt. Still made it to the Western Conference Finals. You got the Nuggets with Murray back. You got Luka and the Mavs. You got teams rising like the Pelicans and
Golden State.
the Kings.
Yeah.
Golden State
Portland.
has Klay coming back.
Yeah.
Portland has Dame. So are the Lakers the favorite?
I don't know. They got to prove it. I think after a couple of months, we'll be able to see. I'm not sure I can say that they're the favorites. I mean, everybody's going to say they got Westbrook. They're definitely
maybe waiting to see what they have around it.
I think they got to wait and see. Yeah,
Okay.
We still got to fill in the blanks. Some shooters and the bigs we talked about. We lost a couple coaches. Kids gone, Lylehouse gone. There's a lot of things going on. So, no, I'm not giving anybody any favor. It's going to be hopefully a normal season this year, where fans are back in the arenas, where training camp will start on times, and players will get back to a little bit of normality. Hopefully, everybody will be healthy. The West, with the Clippers and Denver, and we've already seen
so many good teams.
We'll know by Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Guys, you know what I keep going back to? The Lakers were up on Phoenix 2-1.
Yeah.
And they were winning when Anthony Davis went down in the second quarter. So even if they kind of ran it back, I still might have picked them as my favorite to win the West. Mm-hmm. Then you add a guy like Russ, and you go, wait a sec. Okay, how's this going to work out? I think it's going to be okay. We still have to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, what are they going to do with the other 11 spots on that roster? I mean, it's going to be a super busy free agency period for Rob Pelinka, Kurt Rambis, and Frank Vogel. A lot of guys out there they have to fill in this roster. I'm not going to say it's the biggest free agency period ever for the Lakers. That was Shaq in '96, re-signing Kobe in 2004. Yeah. Those are much bigger, but still, you got to fill in, 3/4 of a roster, guys. It's a lot of work.
And then you have to make it work.
Yeah.
You're bringing in different personalities. You got a new locker room. You still got the big three, but you gotta mesh that together, create that chemistry again, and make it work for the long haul.
And
to do.
It's hard too to look at the West because you don't know what everyone else is going to do in free agency. So you really got to see when everyone's teams are set, that season starts, then you start to kind of see
Well, after this trade, they got to get busy and do something.
Yeah, they do.
What about Brooklyn and the Lakers in the finals?
That would be
Durant
KD versus Westbrook. That'd
Yeah,
be
how about
pretty
that?
incredible.
We just fast forward all the way to next June. How about
Man,
that?
Harden trying to get his first ring. That'd be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Kyrie, LeBron. Let's go. After the break, we're back to put the finishing